Mushroom neutrals are having their moment. Their time in the sun. They're baking. Sun-baked shiitake? Is that a thing? I love these colors because they're rich, they're flexible, and they're warm without being yellow. So many of my customers are like, I like warm, but I hate yellow. It's kind of hard to pull off, unless you got a mushroom. Love it. More importantly, they play well with modern homes, but they are absolutely not idiot-proof. In fact, mushroom neutrals might be one of the more commonly misused color families I'm seeing in 2026. As I'm recommending it, people are blowing it. They're just not able to use them properly. The thing is, when they go wrong, they don't go a little wrong. They go, why does my house look vaguely sick wrong? Let's fix that today. We're going to talk about 5 of the biggest mistakes people make with mushroom neutrals, and more importantly, how to avoid them. First mistake, treating mushroom neutrals like grayish. This is the big one. Mushroom is not grayish. And when you treat it like grayish, you strip it of the thing that makes it work. Grayish usually lives between gray and beige, often leaning on yellow or even a bit of greeniness for warmth. Mushroom neutrals, on the other hand, rely on its complexity. Taupe, stone, sometimes a touch of violet, a little hint of olive, sometimes both. It's crazy, it's wild. When you pair mushroom neutrals the same way you'd pair a good old grayish, super bright white trim, maybe some cool metals, no warmth anywhere else, the color collapses. It can look muddy, lifeless, or oddly purple. Mushroom needs context. It wants warmth nearby. It wants texture. Treating it like a generic neutral is the fastest way to make it fall flat on its face. Its mushroomy face. Second mistake, ignoring undertones because it's neutral. Classic. This one drives me a little insane because neutral does not mean easy undertone-free color. Mushroom neutrals live in undertones. It's what makes them interesting. Some mushrooms lean slightly green or olive to a certain degree. More often than not, they lean mauve or violet. Some are heavier on the taupe side. And if you don't know which one you're dealing with, you're basically gambling. Green-leaning mushrooms can look incredible with warm woods and those brassy metals, but weird next to cool marble, like really weird. However, mauve-leaning mushrooms feel rich and elegant, but can clash with certain pinky beigey tiles. Taupe-heavy mushrooms are more grounding, but can feel heavy in low light if you're not careful. Be careful. If your mushroom neutral looks off, but you can't explain why, it's almost always an undertone mismatch, not the color itself. Mushroom can do no wrong for me. Third mistake, choosing the wrong trim white. Mushroom neutrals are incredibly sensitive to the white you put next to it. This is not the place for ultra cool, icy whites, unless you know exactly what you're doing. And sometimes I don't even know if I know what I'm doing, so you probably don't stand a chance. Pairing a mushroom wall with a very blue or stark white trim can make the wall suddenly look dirty or brown by comparison. And on the flip side, a trim white that's too warm and yellow can push the mushroom into beigey territory, which defeats the entire point. We want the mushroom, not the beigey thing. With these types of colors, you usually want a soft and balanced white, something creamy, calm, and not screaming for attention. When the trim is wrong, people blame the wall color. Spoiler alert, it's almost never the wall color. Fourth mistake, picking the wrong LRV for the space. This is a technical one, but it matters. Mushroom neutrals exist across a wide LRV range, and people often choose them based on a chip instead of the room itself. Huge buzzkill. Low LRV mushroom neutrals can feel luxurious and moody, but in a smaller room or a low ceiling space, that can turn heavy fast. Higher LRV mushrooms feel airy and stone-like, or even like cream of mushroom, but in a massive open concept space, they might feel washed out if there's no contrast. The fix here is simple. Choose LRV based on room size and ceiling height, and even light exposure, not just vibes alone. Mushroom neutrals reward intention, they punish guesswork. Unless you like to be punished, weirdo. I don't know. Anyway, fifth mistake, testing too quickly. Speedy Gonzalez over here. Is that okay to say? My channel.
Ole, arriba, epa, epa, arriba, andale.
Or even worse, not testing properly at all. This is subtle but huge. Mushroom neutrals, they change, they evolve, they grow into slightly bigger mushrooms. That's part of why they're beautiful, and part of why they kind of confuse people. If you slap a small sample on the wall, look at it for 5 minutes, and decide, you're missing the entire story here. You need to watch mushroom neutrals over time. Morning light, afternoon light, evening light, sunny days, gloomy days, sad days. Warm bulbs, cooler cooler bulbs. Whatever bulbs you're using. A mushroom that looks perfect at noon can look completely different at night. And you want to know that before the entire house is painted? Testing slowly isn't optional with mushroom neutrals, it's the process. So here's the big takeaway, the payoff of this video. Mushroom neutrals are not basic neutrals. They're sophisticated, layered colors that need a little respect. Okay? Don't disrespect them. When you understand undertones, choose the right trim, match the LRV to the space, and test properly, they're some of the most beautiful and forgiving colors you can use in 2026. Rush them, oversimplify them, or treat them like grays. Shame on you. They will absolutely humble you and your home.